level 20 would be rapidly approaching for Team Expert, but you don't entirely agree.
I look at it from a different attitude. I look at it as mentality. There's team morale to consider when you're playing in that round. You're in the best of 5 series. You're in game number 2. So it's a high risk, high reward play in my eyes. You either go for the win and you get the win, and oh man, you got momentum going. But if you get beat out by a solo Illidan killing your core and you didn't send one person back to defend it, then suddenly you're deflated going into game number 3. I don't see how beGenius, with the mental fortitude to even go into game number 3 and have a chance at being in the game, right? I would feel so deflated. I wouldn't want to listen to my shot caller. Now, granted, again, we're in the HGC. You need to bring it together and be a team. But there's still that element of like, what was that call? Why'd that happen? You know, and then you have to discuss it. And then the game, in my point, like in my eyes, I feel like this entire best of 5 is over now.
So overall, what we're saying is, if beGenius were perhaps like listening to this, which obviously they're not because currently they're in a game.
Focusing on the game.
Yeah, they're focusing on the game.
Yeah.
They would like to listen to my outlook on it.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you go for it. I get it. I get that mentality. I totally do. It's just it's something that it really hurts overall the team camaraderie when that kind of play happens. When it's as simple as like you peel one back and just don't get mighty gusted. Right?
I can understand your argument.
Yeah, and I can understand yours too. Like I get it. It's a double-edged sword for sure. But you know, we're constantly listening to you guys at home. Let us know. HGC, hit us up on the hashtags, and of course, we have a couple of tweets already that has been floating around the interwebs.
Crossing my fingers. Oh no. Wait.
Johnny Quest 1903. Okay, now Caleres has crossed a line. Tay is the bomb. I agree here with Johnny Quest.
I enjoy being the villain of this broadcast. All right, I don't care.
Don't worry, we'll shake it off.
Hey.
All right, JHow Gaming, ADRD. Team Experts drafting around tasks was so absolutely brilliant given their matchup. So many layers to it, and I am impressed. What's up, JHow? If you guys get a chance, check out JHow, man. He's one of our awesome casters in the scene, and he creates wonderful content on YouTube, so definitely give that guy some love.
Just as a point, all your favorite things are rubbish. Apart from Heroes of the Storm, that's pretty good. There you go.
Okay, so let's start up. Game number 3, we're going to figure out our battleground, start figuring out the draft, and go into this. But if you're beGenius, man, I feel like you're so deflated after that loss. Like, it's such a pain. But at the same time, you know, they have to pull it together here. And it's a best of 5 series. Any game can matter. beGenius with the ban here on the left. Expert with the ban on the right. We went to game number 1 for Tuma's Spider Queen. Game number 2, we're going to Infernal Shrines. And beGenius continues to pick the battleground here. We are going to BOE for the first time in a while here in Europe.
Cool. They could put something crazy out here. We don't get to see Battlefield of Eternity much at all, as you're mentioning. So they could pull something crazy out. But what is important to note now is that Team Expert on the road through Phase 1, on the road to Katowice, on the road to doing well here, has had a brilliant start so far.
Agreed.
And if they take one more map here, they will be 3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
Yeah.
So far, that is absolutely fantastic for a team coming in at the start. They haven't hit the big 3 yet, but they're putting some foundations on that on this season very nicely.
Yeah, I agree with you. They get confidence, they get momentum, but things start to get rough for them starting next week, actually. They hit Dignitas first, and then Fnatic, and then the week after, they hit Misfits. So their bumpy road will be coming. Can they continue to go on the smooth road here, it feels like, as we get ready for the draft here on Battlefields of Eternity. Now, Caleres mentioned we could see something on here, and there are a lot of odd picks that can occur. Sylvanas is the thing. Greymane could be a pickup. Tyrande as well. She's fallen out hard, but these are battlegrounds that suddenly these type of base race scenarios can become legitimate plays.
I have this crazy feeling where, like, if we're ever going to see Cho'Gall in our first 2 weeks, this could be a place we see it. I don't think we're going to see it. We actually, even in NA last night, did see a Cho ban.
Yeah.
I was at home secretly wanting a Gall ban next because I'm
the double value.
I'm actually the worst person in the world. But whatever.
I'm going to do that next time I'm in Hero League. If I see a Cho'Gall ban, I'm going to ban Gall just for you. Even if I'm on the opposing team, just to have that synergy, you know?
I'll tune into that stream.
Okay,
tonight.
Perfect. Sounds good. So Team Expert will start off with their ban phase here, and I just want to watch their drafting unfold, man. It's so brilliant how they handle the Tassadar exchange in the last matchup, where they essentially pin their opponents into a spot where they didn't get much Tassadar value. Tassadar actually has a loss now.
Wow.
In Europe.
Yeah. Back off the back of Team Expert evaluating the threat of it and letting it through. So I think overall very clever by Team Expert and well executed. So this surely, well, actually, you know, oh God.
If you're beGenius, what do you start thinking now, right? Like this is the stuff that teams have to deal with it constantly against Expert. We as casters get confused by it. Now suddenly you're thinking, what do I ban? Like what? How do I hurt Expert?
Yeah. Oh god, that's annoying. Do you ban it or not? Do you take something away like a? I don't know anymore. I give up.
I think
I'll take my heads off.
I wouldn't mind the strategy being you just ban something else out that you think Expert runs well here.
Yeah.
And you just go for your standard pickups of Tychus Malfurion, and then you just figure out Tassadar as you go down the draft. They elect, though, to go ahead and ban it out for now, and now Expert will have the first pick.
It's a weird situation you're in when you see a Tassadar ban in the first wave and it feels kind of valueless. That is a strange situation to be in.
Do I understand the meta? Expert just makes you question it, right?
I've gone. I'm blank. I'm a cream pie face of blankness. There's Ragnaros.
Expert will take Ragnaros.
That's almost kind of what I wanted beGenius to ban, but then
they go down the wild ride of ADRDs banning phases. So do they go into Tychus Malfurion here? I feel like Tychus loses some value on this battleground, just because while he does have consistent DPS, he doesn't have hard-hitting DPS for the Immortal phase, but he's still a strong hero if you have to deal with the opposing team pushing into you.
This realm needs
so, beGenius agrees, it seems like, as they pick up Li Ming here, which Li Ming's value goes up heavily on this battleground.
Yeah, already they're tailoring this composition to start things out for the poke war. That's where Li Ming thrives and excels on this map when you actually do pick her, compared to a Ragnaros who's more in your face. So Team Expert is looking to try and get the pace of the engagements. I mean, Tyrael is a bit more aggressive himself as well, but I think he'll do okay. Sanctification to save if that team fight does occur.
And this also puts the weight of thought on Expert here. Do they want to ban Grandmain now or take Grandmain? Because Tyrael is one of the foundations for that combination. And Grandmain feels like a weird hero to ban out. It really does.
But if you were gonna, it's a good map too.
Yeah,
he races like a beast.
That he does. Some kind of Worgen or something.
Some kind of strange wolf creature.
Some kind of World of Warcraft character that just destroys things. Some kind of bloodlust.
Perhaps cursed.
So, Expert, what are you going into here? They get Ragnaros. There's a couple things that you can start doing when you see that beGenius is looking towards racing. You can go for the hard engage, which Artanis provides, but also provides the amateur opponent. And you can also go the route of CC. Malfurion fits that mold perfectly here, and now they have a great foundation for their 4th and 5th pick that they can move into.
I think that is a true jack of all trades for this map. Great. I think it's a really cool pick on the Artanis. You don't see it as much in Europe as you do in North America, but this is the place to pick it. As you're saying, the great engage. I'm just going to repeat everything you just said. The great engage, the amateur opponent. You've got the best of both worlds. You've got the race. You've got that hard engage that Ragnaros and Malfurion would rather like over the Li Ming. I think it's beautiful.
The displacement is insane to deal with, because if you are losing the Immortal race, you can chase in with the Artanis, and you get swap, and you might get a stun based on your own Immortal if you have to defend it. It's such a great pick on this battleground. Before Artanis even got changed slightly, people were still considering him as one of the heroes to go to on this battleground.
And now you've got to think on beGenius' side, they're staring down at that themselves and they're thinking, damn it, ADRD, that guy, because that is a scary 3 already to go up against.
That it is.
Considering the position you're in, 2 games down.
Team Expert wondering what they would like to get rid of. You can get rid of Greymane here if beGenius goes that route. With Tychus being banned out, I feel like we actually might see a Zarya from beGenius. That's kind of what that's screaming to me, is they want to go for multiple warriors to kind of help out with this Artanis engage that will be occurring, which is a good idea because Team Expert has 2 melees here and a Malfurion. If you go down another warrior route and you have a Zarya, you have a Tyrael, you have Li Ming poke, you could theoretically waste time on the opposing team with multiple warriors and have Li Ming do poking, and then when fight occurs, you can break it out heavily with her going in with a Calamity build. So we'll see what BOE is going to be getting here from beGenius, as their 3rd and 4th pick is definitely very important and a huge indicator of what they would like to try and do.
Yeah, I think I still like the Greymane. I still think that's cool. Then there will be, and Karazim. Okay.
Cool. Karazim, solid. Iron Fist, great early game. So it's kind of cool because I think Karazim has 2 builds on this map. I feel like it's not getting picked up in competitive yet, but I feel like the Iron Fist build is fantastic for helping race the Immortal race. What's cool here is you can put Greymane on the Immortal by himself, or you can put Karazim on the Immortal by himself and have the other 4 defend. Yes, his Iron Fist is actually insane with the ability to pop its E, you start chaining it down. The Iron Fist is so strong. I also think that Insight build can be relatively powerful in this battleground. It is a bit selfish, though. You have to not be in the fights until you get that Insight quest finished off, but then you have cooldowns in the mid-game to where you're popping out so many heals if you're getting your punches on a hero like Artanis that will be in the middle of the fight, that your team literally cannot be killed off unless they get rid of the Kerosene first.
All right, what does Team Expo go for? 2 choices left. This is interesting. I actually don't know. I gave up on predicting Team Expert.
I actually like Arthas a lot with Artanis. I think I like Zarya with Artanis as well. You want someone that can help bolster that push. They pick up a Nubrak and Medivh.
Oh god, here we go.
Okay. All right. I see you. I need to watch it unfold, but I see you, Team Expert. 5th pick here. I need another warrior or another support. But I can't figure out which support would be the one that jumps out to me. Rhaegar would be my first choice, but it's been banned out. Uther could work, but that's a scary thought. I think I'd rather go down the tank route.
Yeah,
and I would move into Murden. ETC's been banned out. Yeah, I'd move into Murden then. Just be able to handle that Artanis. But also with the Anubrak being there, you also have the chance to go for Skullcracker Executioner, and you can kind of deal with the Anubrak too.
There's that. I keep coming back to it for beGenius, but I kind of like Johanna again. I like the idea of having a bit shield glare as a blind against a lot of that auto attack.
Yeah, I like Johanna and I like Arthas too, also. There's 3 warriors that stand out for me. I just want to know what beGenius goes for. Karis, even if he goes damage build, will start to hurt in the mid game. Wow, they go for Falstad?
Solo Tyrael at the front.
With
no shields.
I get the idea is like Artanis gets the engaged and he gets Mighty Gusted away, but to cover that, we have Expert on Medivh with, I'm going to say it, the best Medivh in Europe, who knows how to handle engages. He hits 13, he has the extra portal duration, and that Mighty Gust kind of becomes obsolete. So I see the idea behind it. I don't know if I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You still get the ability here if it comes down to a race scenario. And then both teams decide that they want to go defend, you can peel Falstad off and then come in with the fly-in. So the global is helpful, but it gets negated with this being a 2-lane map. I just look over at Expert here, and because that last pick Falstad, I think they have the upper hand, even though it kind of threw me off a little bit.
I'm still pretty critical of solo Tyraels that aren't in the compositions of the big 3. Like, we've seen Misfits run it in one of their series, but that's because... Well, 1, they're Misfits, and 2, they had Tassadar for shields to help out. Fnatic ran it in their previous series that we just watched in the last game, and it was, again, it was, Fnatic going up against Synergy, which was, probably just going to be very much so heavily in favor of Fnatic anyway. So I am wary that this won't have the power that they want it to.
We'll see how it shakes out. I do think there is some late game strength here for beGenius, so they do have the early game race potential.
Yeah.
And then if they go into late game, they can make it work. We'll talk more about it, though, because it looks like we are ready to move into game number 3 here. Can Expert finish it here with another 3-0? We'll find out now as we move into Battlefield of Eternity. beGenius taking on Team Expert.
Alrighty, to the left-hand side in the blue, it is beGenius looking to recover themselves in this series, and they have taken it. They have picked map each time. I do like that strategy. Trying to find a solution here to Team Expert.
Yep, just not quite working out for them, but it is working out for the opposing team that is on the right side here. It's Team Expert in the red, and you mentioned it already. They have a 3-0, a 3-0, and potentially another 3-0 under the belt here, which is something to boast about.
Yeah.
That is actually insane here. At the highest level of play here in Europe, that they're going to be walking away at the start here in week number 2 with potentially a 9-0.
And they've got their coveted Medivh. Again, it's very hard to dispute that he is not the best Medivh in Europe right now, ADRD. So there is scary times ahead here for beGenius. I feel that with Greymane, with the fists, and maybe try and win the race. That might just be the way.
Yep, we'll see if that happens here. As Poke will begin for our 2 teams here, Nick will be the one to keep an eye on, as he is going to be the main racer here for Team Expert, with the ability to work in that amateur opponent on the Immortal. So, what his movement is going to be quite exciting to watch. Bad Benny does have a choice here with the noob rack to be complete harassment. If he can hit his impales on the Greymane, he can slow down the siege potential of beGenius for a while. But they also have to remember Kerosene here with that Iron Fist.
One of the scary things is here for beGenius is if they do actually lose out on one of the Immortal fights, then in a similar vein to why I think Medivh is strong on Infernal Shrines, he's strong here as well. They can easily dive on through the wall while the Immortal is pushing on against it. They won't have the, you know, the companionship of the Immortal on the other side, but they will put pressure on and zone you out while you are trying to deal with the Immortal. So that could be scary as well here for beGenius.
Yeah, they have a lot of dancing available on this team, I think is the way to put it. So here we go. Immortal spawning in the next 3 seconds.
All right.
Our teams have soaked as much experience as possible, and I want to see how this will unfold. Unstable already begins the Iron Fist damage on the Immortal.
Yeah. They know that they have to be in the right positions. Oh, the stun! Oh, no! Oh, a disaster for beGenius as Li Ming unfortunately falls prey to that first stun from the Immortal trick.
What a mistake there by Li Ming. Normally you wait till the last second until you teleport, but with an Anubrak sitting right next to your face, you need to teleport instantly so you don't get chained from Seed like we just saw there from Bad Benny. Well played by the Anubrak, and that will give Team Expert the lead in the Immortal race.
I was about to say before that happened, they did well. They positioned themselves right as that Immortal was coming up. They got some good damage on it, but overall, oh, what a slip-up.
What a mistake. I agree here, and we continue with the back and forth. Tank for the win, and team will push in and defend against their opponents. And Expert with such a lead right now can peel off their opponent or their teammates. They can get Ragnaros in the top lane here. Bad Benny needs to keep an eye on the Greymane, and they'll be fine.
The saving grace for a kid over on the Li Ming is that he has had some really good series on the Li Ming. So I don't think, you know, this is by any means over for him. I think he's still going to have a good game. Just a slight slip up there overall. It will cost them that Immortal though, and that means now Team Expert is going to exert themselves. They are basing in a very...
Okay, it gets away. Because the rest of the team didn't start backing, so that means that Danatan yelled out, I should be able to escape. The Impale, though, is great from Bad Benny, and here's the portal. And Danatan goes for the engage. There's the Blade Dash, and that is a dead Tyrael. He will be a fallen angel.
Basing there is so risky because of the fact that you know your opponents might just want to go and collect the health globes from that location. Yeah, tough times here for beGenius. Maybe after that second game, they are a little bit shaken.
Yeah, and I wonder why.
Oh. All right.
4-man push here in the bottom left here as all of Team Expert will push into this fort, continue the pressure. Kirwa on the right side starting to get the poke on the Bad Benny. He is low on HP. There is a force of will from Medivh and ABRD, and crew will just sneak away. There goes the Phase Prism, but slightly too late there from Nick. It will not connect with Kirwa. Ragnaros the entire time, though, has been soaking the wave, and Fawcett is forced to go deal with it.
Off build as well to start things off for Li Ming and Kira as well here, so he's really looking for that poke potential down the line. Not wanting to risk too much. This is going to be fought over for a moment. Bad Benny double in there against Kira, but trying to zone him out. That's a great little force of will, soaking up a lot of the damage there from him, and they're going to bolt through that portal for the moment here. beGenius almost losing unstable. Bad Benny trying to keep himself alive on the left-hand side. That's going to be Tank for the win. Going down on the right, though. And Bad Benny just tunneling away. Oh!
The last second there, the Carapace saving him.
Yeah.
The hammering almost getting the Kara. I like the play there from Eric King, though, trying to make a play, but needs to be careful there, especially with Artanis floating around. That could have been deadly for the Falstad, but for the moment, I did enjoy the pressure. Now, Nick will start the camp here on the right. That amateur opponent really coming in to be helpful for clearing such waves. Bad Benny will be here for the assist, and so far, 3 kills in the favor of Team Expert, and they are showing the lead here with about a half-level lead.
Yeah, cool little fight down there, to be honest with you. On Falstad's side with the mage stand, with the fact that he's going to be gathering himself some shields at level 4. I like that Arakine's doing that. They know that portal plays are going to be a big issue here. And anything that you can do to keep yourself alive for just that little bit longer against Team Expert, I think is going to pay dividends.
We do have Nick getting the slow on his Phase Prism here for level 7. I will say that on this map, I really do prefer follow-through. Just that extra damage for burst, especially because he's so melee heavy. This comp is in general, so having extra damage could have been a good pickup, but they elect to go for the slow. I feel like if you get the swap against this comp, you're probably already winning the team fight anyways. Kirwa does get locked down though, and that will be the engage. There's a hammer from Blade, and that was an instant deadly Ming.
And that comes at just the wrong time once again, unfortunately, here for Kirwa, as they're just going to start to put pressure, good pressure, on towards this Immortal. And now with ADRD there, it's even difficult to tank for the win, as well as, who's that in the middle there? It's Unstable, to be that far forwards, because Portal players could easily start rivaling the positions behind that Immortal. So, yeah. Difficult.
Yeah, Li Ming actually was probably the worst one to lose there, because Li Ming is the only one that opens up fights with the poke that she has for the team, for Greymane to go in. Greymane can't do anything there. He can work at some auto attacks, but all that requires is the opposing team to walk away, get the inner beast wasted, and then you go back in for the fight. So yeah, Li Ming getting picked off was definitely very deadly there, as Team Expert takes a slight chunk on that Immortal phase. Ragnaros went to the bottom lane to continue soaking experience, and Expert still in the lead as they are moving towards level 10.
Yeah, Expert has no rush here with this Immortal phase currently, because they know they're closer to that 10, as you mentioned. Kirwa swapped again! Oh, manages to get away from
the burrow! Bad Biddy showing up here like a shark, killing off Li Ming, and there is another pick off. Dude, Kirwa is having a bad day right now in this match. He picks Calamity too, which means there will be more dives for sure as we go throughout this game.
All right, so Danatan just throws Zelda into Might forward to see what is going on the other side. We will see Arakeen and Blade towards the top. Arakeen having to soak something. Best hero to do it for them, considering he can just fly to reinforce an engagement. But 10's about to pop. Trick.
That it is. And DRD and crew now hit level 10. So we have Locust Swarm, we have Twilight Dream, Medivh holding on to his heroics. Certainly going to be Leyline Seal, and actually there it is. Sulfurious Smash and Suppression Pulse for Arcanus to help out with that base scenario. If they're ever at even footing, they can Suppression Pulse to Greymane and be good to go.
And now they've got to be super careful. Medivh's there, could easily throw a portal. They're going to give it, it's a full 20,000 health left on that Immortal. It is a full shield, full health Immortal. They're going to lose both forts from this. Like
that
the
is
one,
disgusting.
Yeah. This it's snowballing out of control at this point.
beGenius needs to make a move soon here.
Yes.
We have a slight yielding cocktail build with an auto-attack build from Greymane, so they can do a solid job of clearing this up, but they have to break through that shield and not get swapped. Take for the win will dodge the swap here from Nick, but the root goes off. Here is the Arakeen. They're going in for it. The portal is down. The Sanctification to stop it from occurring here as the engagement goes in once again, but Arakeen in the back right corner. And now Team Expert, with all the heroics down, decides to engage. There is a swap for Roni. Danatan in trouble. Here's a burrow charge. Unstable will get the escape, but two members down from beGenius.
And looking for more here. That Immortal's still at full health. All the shields have dissipated now after getting that fort. So they lost the bottom fort just naturally because it was so low. Blade did well down there, pushed that out, and now they're looking even for keep. ADRD and this team in Team Expert here. Great standout players from Bad Benny. Nick has got the swaps all game long. Expert once again putting on a clinic.
They could take a keep here at 9 minutes, and now everyone from beGenius has spawned. Remember, this is a low amount of time for people to start dying. So, we're getting resets now. Okay, yeah, beGenius going in. Can they save their keep? They did save the keep. It's about a quarter of health. Arakeen goes for the fly, though, charging in, looking for more here. With no Anubrak on the field, there is no major peel available, and no one to take that damage from Kirwa. So Kirwa is looking for more. There's a teleport, though. ADRD will guide his Arcanus away. Tank for the win, though, does dive in. Suppression Pulse has been popped. Where is the kill here? Kirwa's looking for it. There goes the Calamity, but the portal's here in time. Blade goes for the exchange back, but does miss a Sulfurious Smash.
The retreat out was just so well executed there overall. As now Master's Touch is done for ADRD, who can even barely be surprised. As the swap comes in there towards Danatan, it might be Tyrael, but he's still not exactly the most protected warrior of all time. Not exactly the most health either. Looking for a stun towards Arakeen. Do not get it. Bad Benny, though, still leading the charge. 13 against 12 currently.
Nick has picked up Gravitational Vortex, and I want to say this is the Arcanus play that I've been looking for in Europe the last couple of weeks. Finally, someone to show me how it's done here. He's working in these auto attacks. He's also going for the swaps, but he's picking these talents that allow for his team to snowball a fight if he gets a pick.
And it was a smart pick. Let's just talk about this fight for a moment. That's a great sanctification here. They should be able to steal this away. Expert has to move away from that position. Leyline Seal, do they follow it up with an attack? No, doesn't look like it. They just want to escape out. Good escape out there, considering the damage that was put on and that wave of force.
Yone Hawkeye doing a lot of damage here. Here comes Erkin, though. The hammering will be available. Can he land it? He does hit Kirsten. Fierce smash, so connects with Falstad, and Falstad says, nope, I don't want to fight anymore. Will roll away, and now beGenius is going to escape with nothing in terms of kills.
So that, again, here for HGC Europe, there was finesse in the Artanis pick. We talked about it. You know, the fact that it solves so many problems for them halfway down the draft with the swaps, with the hard engage that they needed against a poke composition, with the fact that amateur opponent lends itself so nicely to the Battlefield of Eternity mentality. So I think it fit the comp really well. I don't think Artanis is an all-comp solution like currently we're seeing in NA.
Careful treading on my bay. Okay?
Sorry, man.
I know, I agree with you. He has situations that he fits in. Too many people are playing him as this Stitches pseudo-hero, but he doesn't feel that role as much. Immortal Phase now up once again. 5 members on the defense here for beGenius. Team Expert looking for a way in, but decides maybe it might be worth it just to spread out here and continue our soak and get some pressure on the map as we continue the dance around the Immortal Phase.
All right, so yeah, this is a little bit of a better spot actually now for beGenius. Indeed, they have themselves all 5 members going into an Immortal Phase. They have the equal talent tier, but got to be careful of the swaps. Got to be careful of those PvE stuns as well.
beGenius hitting 13 makes a move on the Immortal. Bad Benny is here to help defend. The rest of Team Expert now start to show up, but the Immortal is getting burned down pretty quickly, actually. Erkin, though, in trouble. There goes the Mighty Gust. Suppression Pulse comes out. There is a teleport. ADRD goes for the ley line seal. Will connect with 2 members in the back right. Saphira smash timing, but the 7-sided strike will save Unstable. There's a Twilight Dream.
Yeah, and they could follow this up for more kills here. That's going to be a good little dash there forwards for Nick. Greymane will end up falling. The rest of the beGenius lineup in disarray. They fall back. They're also low. And that's probably going to be an Immortal going over to Team Expert once again.
Oh, the forcible at the last second here to keep Kirsten alive. And yes, that will definitely be Immortal, but more. We're going to get the keep, too, at the same time as 2 members head towards the keep, and Artanis is soloing the Immortal back home.
Yeah, so all keeps are dead at this point. This Immortal should be able to get keep at the bottom. And now Team Expert is just, they're all over it. I don't know how beGenius is going to be able to recover from this spot, considering how well Team Expert has executed these fights.
The only way to do it is to get Reset City going. You need to find a wave to take out Medivh. So whether you start to engage on someone with, maybe a swap happens, and you put some damage on Artanis, the Force of Will comes out, and then you all have to dive somehow, some way, take out Medivh, and then the fight starts to crumble heavily here. Medivh is the one that is keeping this composition that Team Expert is running alive. If you don't have the teleports, Artanis can get out of the fight. Ragnaros has a hard time. He has to use his E button to get away. Now Furion can escape. Anubrak's the only one that has an immediate burrow charge away. Taking out Medivh is the #1 priority. It's just so difficult to do.
It is, definitely. So now, Medivh, IDRD, and Bad Benny looking and lurking around the front of this position, just hoping for an opportunity. Any little strikes with the amateur opponent that Artanis can get on the towers is powerful. He brings them down fast. So now, there is a timer above beGenius's head. Can they solve this puzzle here? They're not going to have 16. They're going to have to take this fight somehow, some way.
The swap into the Immortal knockback into the Saphira smash. Leyline seal comes out as well. Li Ming on the back right trying to do something, but she's just tickling at this point. Another swap, another dead member. beGenius running, trying to hold 2 members alive.
Nick and the legendary swaps. Let it go down that here, that Team Expert absolutely dominated this game, and they are a perfect 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 here in week 2 of HGC EU.
With an overall score of 3-0, tying here with the Misfits at the very, very top, but yet they have yet to drop an actual game unlike the Misfits. So, Expert playing Artanis, doing me proud, but overall, just really just dominant play, it feels like, as they come through the first couple weeks of HGC.
Actually, and we could take a look at that again, because that was beautiful.
The Immortal was my favorite part here. The timing was just perfect here from Nick. He has the Blade Dash and the Phase Prism up right now, but he's waiting for the Immortal to go for an attack that he can throw someone into. Once he sees it winds up, he goes in for the Q, into the E, pulls him back, slam against the wall, Saphira smash, and that was a devastating destroy.
Spectacular. Really nicely done there from Nick. What a play. What a play.
Gotta agree with you, man. Again, it's good to see our chance being played here in the HGC by Europe, because I've been waiting for so long for him to really become such a strong pick for teams. And here on BOE, he definitely finds his place. But Nick, again, man, kudos, dude. I don't normally say that to our chance players, but man, you have impressed me. Overall, though, the drafting again continues to be a story for our team expert. Every time they go through a draft phase, it just feels like they just have this upper hand on their opponents.
It looks good, and again, admittedly, it's not against some of the stronger teams here in the HGC Europe just yet, but they were willing to let Tanasadar through. I don't think when they run up against the top 3, although it could end up being on a different patch, of course, that they would let that happen if it was in this current iteration. But later down the line, who knows where the new Tanasadar is going to find his place.
Yeah, we'll have to see where that does happen. We are going to be getting into a call with ADRD soon. We're working on establishing a link with him, and then, of course, we'll start the connection, because I want to find out what was going through his head there. As, honestly, it just seems like this team just has it so well put together. Actually, are we there? ADRD, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
ADRD, first off, man, congratulations on your victory here. Your team is up 3-0, actually, in the standings, which is fantastic. But I just want to get your thoughts, man. The easy road seems to be over. Your next 3 opponents are going to be the big guys. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready. Like, we didn't lose a single map yet, which I think shows a lot.
Yeah.
Because other teams, even Fnatic and Misfits, lost some maps versus even worse teams already.
Wow. Okay. Well, you said that straight up. Clarence, any questions from you?
I'm curious as to see, obviously, like a lot of people consider you to be very, very powerful in the draft. Do you think that even the big 3 can kind of rival you in that stage of the game, like putting mechanics aside in the actual game?
I think it's actually a good question, because in my opinion, the bottom teams, the biggest difference between them and better teams is the drafting. So when you can see us doing very good versus worse teams, the big part of it is that we are outdrafting them very often.
Right.
And versus teams like Fnatic or Misfits, it's not really possible, but we can sometimes surprise them, and other times we'll be at least even.
Okay, okay.
Well, ADRD, next week you do go against what would consider be the top 3. Dignitas is your first stop. What's the number one thing for you guys going into that fight, and what you're going to try to do? You don't have to reveal strategies. It's totally cool.
Yeah, of course. I think we just try to prepare some maps, like at least 1 or 2 strategies that will be surprising for them, and they'll be not prepared for that.
Right.
But I think we can even take games from them when we play our standard game. But it might be standard for us, but it's not necessarily standard for other teams, as you can see from what our drafts usually.
We heard from Bakery yesterday, and he was saying that your fixture going up against Team Dignitas versus Team Expert is probably the biggest fixture of Phase 1, the biggest match of Phase 1, in that will probably decide who goes to Katowice. Do you agree with that sentiment, and do you think that you can defeat them and move on to the Clash?
I think he's actually right. But I think it's also possible that Misfits might, or other teams might drop some other maps, and it will be like three-way tie for the 3rd place. So then it counts like how many maps did we win, right?
Right, yeah.
Awesome. Well, yes. ADRD, once again, congratulations on your victory today. Congratulations on your last couple of weeks. But if you have any crazy shout-outs you want to do, now would be the time.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to shout out for Team Expert for picking us and believing in us, and to all my fans that are supporting me, because I'm in the scene for a long time, and I know that a lot of people follow me from the beginning when I started playing, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much. And again, another thank you for your Medivh play, dude. I definitely got some stuff to work on to be as good as him. So that's it there from ADRD. And I know over here that we are excited for next week's matchup. But let's see how everything shakes out in the standings for our teams. As right now, Team Expert and Team Misfits are at the very tippy top here with the 3-0 victories.
Yes, they are. Unfortunately for beGenius, they fall down to 0-3 right now. They've had some hard matches themselves. So in a similar vein to how Tricked Esports are in that position, I imagine while they are, for beGenius, it's going to be a little bit still more of a difficult road ahead. They're in that kind of spot, but they could quite easily take, you know, a series hero there.
Yeah, definitely we'll keep an eye on beGenius. Again, at least the thing I take away from today's series is that I'm excited to see that beGenius is willing to take risk, like we saw in that game number 2, where they're like, all right, you know what, we're not doing so well here, let's go for a play.
Yeah.
And they're willing to pull that off. And maybe if it wasn't Team Expert or was another team in the matchup, they take that win. If they get on the core with the Punisher and they get the DPS necessary, they can make it work. It's good to see this team is trying to figure out ways to find victory.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, I said at the very beginning of all of this, Expert is my team to look out for, and oh boy, so far are they delivering. And I don't think anyone has any idea how excited I am for next week.
I'm excited too, man. It's going to be a good one for sure. So we have concluded our 6 matches for this weekend, but we have more coming at you next week. Let's talk about the schedule for next Friday. Join us here in HGC Europe. We will start off with the Playing Ducks taking on Tricked Esport, which is a great match, I think, to start out with. Playing Ducks is starting to show some signs of life, and Tricked Esport is a team that we know has something there.
That's where Tricked Esports gains a little bit of momentum back. I think that they can do good in that series against Playing Ducks. I think those two teams are very evenly matched.
All right, well, we'll see how that will shake out. beGenius and Fnatic will follow up afterwards. And oh man, poor beGenius really needs to come ready for that Friday matchup. There is a serious possibility they could walk away with a 0-4, and that would be a hard way to start off your week.
The road doesn't get any easier here for beGenius, but just bring something with spice. Bring something with a little bit of crazy flavor in there.
Yeah, we got 4 more days to figure it out and be ready for Fnatic. Later on during that Friday, No Tomorrow and B-Step will face off, and Superstars will take on the Gale Force Esports, which will be a good thing to find out after today's matches, because Superstars will be facing off against Team 8, and they may still be undefeated depending on how that all shakes out. So great matches here at the HGC. I know I'm excited for more Europe action next Friday. How about you?
Yeah, same here, same here. And again, you know, I'm just building it at this point, because next week we will get to see Team Expert go up against Team Dignitas, my 2 favorite teams in the tournament right now, and it could quite easily decide who goes to Katowice down the line. That's, oh god, it's going to be good.
Well, we're going to leave you and let you think about it for the next couple of days. Thank you for joining us here on HGC Europe. HGC North America coming soon.